Hello everyone, AutoChamp over here, and right in front of me is the all-new Audi A6 Avant. Now this is not an electric version, this is actually indeed a thermic version. In fact, there is a very big problem. Mercedes released the all-new Mercedes E-Class, which looked awesome and promising. BMW released the all-new BMW 5 Series, the 5 Series, which initially raised a bit of doubts for me, but then I got used to seeing them on the roads. I actually started liking them, which brings me down to the problem for the Audi brand. Does Audi have what it takes to pick a fight with the BMW 5 Series and the Mercedes E-Class with this all-new Audi A6 Avant? Check the link in the description for my other YouTube videos where I review the Mercedes E-Class and the BMW 5 Series. Right, now I'm going to get down to reviewing this Audi A6 E-Tron. Now, I want to start by talking about the Audi brand a little bit with all of you. The Audi brand is part of the Volkswagen Group, and just like the Volkswagen cars, Audi started from small. They started with economy cars. They didn't actually start in the premium segment right away. But one thing that stood out about the Volkswagen Group in general, and especially the Audi brand, would be the sportback design. If we look at the way they've done this rear, everybody, Audi estate wagons have always been one of the most stylish, one of the most desirable, especially because of the fact that when you choose an Audi estate wagon with sporty wheels, how cool it looks. Now, me personally, if I had the choice to configure my own Audi A6 Avant, I would choose directly a red paintwork with sporty wheels. Perhaps I'd go straight for the S line, and then I would make sure the wheels have a 5-spoke to them. You see, 5 spokes are always my favorite, and there's just something about Audi that pairs very well with 5 spokes and red calipers. Now, Audi and red, they go very well together, just like how BMW and Blau, they go very well together. So that's personally my favorite configuration, which I think you all are going to like. Pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell all of you. The Audi A6 E-Tron has no connections with this Audi A6 Avant. In fact, they're two completely different vehicles that just happen to share the same badge name. So it's like the Audi Q8 e-tron and the Audi Q8. The Q8 and the Q8 e-tron are not related to each other, but they just share the same name for the hierarchy to imply that they're part of the they're top of the hierarchy, whereas the Q4 is underneath it. You see, it's understandable where they're going from. It's understandable where they're coming from, although if I'm being honest, it creates a little bit of a confusion because BMW didn't actually do this. For the 5 Series and the i5, they are using the exact same body structure, and they have the same exterior design. So BMW has a bit of an advantage in this regard. So I'm very curious to see what has the Audi got that will make the BMW 5 Series have sleepless nights. Now, when it comes to the front design of the Audi A6 Avant, I feel like it is just humbled a lot. And I had the same complaint about the BMW 5 Series. But then the thing about the BMW 5 Series is that I started liking it actually as I got used to seeing it very often on the road, seeing it from various angles. But that's not the same impression I had of Audi models lately, especially the e-tron models, where they've gone down the similar route of having everything round edge, although it does have a 360-degree parking camera. Now, when it comes to the side design, the Volkswagen Group, they have changed a lot. They used to have a straight line that would continue from the front all the way to the rear, but now they've gotten rid of it in favor of a smooth round edge design here. Me personally, I find it problematic because that was actually their strongest identity, whereas now they've kind of gone on the path of being too humble. At least, thank goodness, they don't have pop-out door handles. They have a handle like this. So there's this soft touch button you have to press, and then the door opens. Let's listen to the sound of the door. Okay, I'm going to be very honest. BMW has the best sounding door, because when I listen to the sound of this Audi, the door sounds like it sounds like I'm closing the door of a fridge. It doesn't make much noise, guys. Now, on the positive side, too much door noise isn't always good. Some people like it soft. Let's see if it has soft close. It has soft close, so that's a plus. I have to wonder, for a price of 102,000 euros, you get those side view mirrors that still have the hard plastic over here and on this side. Why? Now, towards the rear, this is where things get very interesting. I saw the badge sitting in the middle. I saw some simplicity, and then I see those rear lights. This had me thinking of the 2000s, everyone, when Audi released what I believe to be the second generation Audi A8, but then it could also be a reference to the Audi Q7 and the Audi Q5 of the 2000s and the early 2010s, because they also had a similar rear design like this. The other thing I want to point out is that this Audi A6 Avant is equipped with the Quattro system, but there's a little problem I just noticed. There was a time Audi used to be proud of pointing out that their cars have a Quattro system. They used to write a Quattro in tiny letters on the side here or there. But it seems like this time the Quattro lettering or word is nowhere to be seen, guys. Now it's time to check out the interior of the Audi A6 Avant. So my first impression is that it is very similar to what I saw in the Audi A5 and the Audi A6 E-Tron, so it's very interesting. But both front seats get electric seating adjustment, and I like this tone of leather you get. This is quite nice. And already I noticed a little problem just by looking at the door. You one moment have this piano black trim, which is quite busy with buttons. The last time I saw a door this busy with this much buttons was in a bus in the 90s, everyone. Whereas Audi put all the buttons there because they wanted to simplify things. They wanted to get rid of all buttons from this area in favor of storage space, which is very nice. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, really? And then next moment, you're also greeted with hard plastic over here for the window buttons. My first impression when sitting inside this Audi A6 E-Tron, the steering wheel is one of the best in the automotive industry, and this is something I have to remark about the Volkswagen Group. They have one of the best steering wheel. It's electrically adjustable, by the way. This is how good it is. And it's very nice to hold on to, and you get this different material over here for easy grip. By the way, this steering wheel is part of the S line. I think for this Audi, you do get a screen over here, thank goodness, because it is 102,000 euros after all. Now, I want to remark also something to you all is that this Audi A6 is in showroom mode, so therefore I don't exactly have the key with me. I can't really show you all the infotainment system, but what I can definitely tell you is that Audi and the Volkswagen Group, well, more like the Volkswagen Group and the BMW, they have one of the best infotainment system in the automotive industry. But the Volkswagen Group, they take the trophy for the quality of the mapping. They literally show you a lot of details, like the hills, the mountains. I just love it. Whereas BMW, I'd say, deserves the trophy for the ease of use. You don't even need to touch the screen. You can just play with the swivel wheel and get the necessary information you need, guys. This is how good it is. Both of them have their advantage, but they both are one of the best in the automotive industry. With this Audi A6 Avant, you even get a Bang & Olufsen sound system, which will enhance the quality, the sound quality, which is great. Now, on the steering wheel, I like the buttons you get. Just listen to this. And you even get driving palettes. Now, traditionally of Volkswagen Group cars, you even get a third stroke dedicated to your cruise control. This is so Volkswagen. But then there's a little problem. I look at the palettes, I look at the stokes. The plastic is exactly the same as what I've just seen in the Volkswagen Golf, guys. It's yeah, and you're looking at a price of 102,000 euros. You'd expect something more inspiring. You see what I'm saying? Because one moment you're greeted with beautiful piano black trim, and then next moment onto the door you're greeted with some hard plastic down there. So this is the thing I've noticed about Volkswagen Group is you know, it's one moment this and next moment that. I prefer a bit of consistency, but that's not a very big deal. The central console storage is very, very shallow. Oh my goodness. And then also you get two cup holders that are sitting there proudly, no cover over them or anything, but then it's not a big deal again. You get this button over here to control the media, but I think that's also for the front seat passenger. So you might have to argue with the front seat passenger as to the volume and everything. And then you get your wireless stuff from Recharge down there with the 12-volt socket and charging points. That's good. Now, when it comes to the air vents, they've gone on the similar route as BMW, so they kept the air vents as humble as possible, which is really cool, guys. I think this is really cool. This is quite nice, and I like how the air vents are proud on this side. There's something about this area I've noticed. They look very nice. The combination of what looks like metal trim, but it's actually plastic. And then just right next to the Bang & Olufsen sound system. Now over to the rear seats of this Audi A6 Avant. Now there's something about the rear seats that's very pleasant, especially with this particular fabric, with this particular leather. It looks very bright. It looks very nice and appealing. Now, again, you all will have your own appeal. You all will have your own choices. Over to the rear seats, everyone. First of all, I just like the feel of the door handle. It's got very squidgy effect to it. It's very nice. But the thing is, One moment you have the squidgy leather covering it, and then next moment you have the hard plastic inside. So again, this is something I'm not a fan of, and I noticed some similar problems like this in the BMW 5 Series and the Mercedes E-Class as well. If I'm not mistaken, you have control to the climate control for the rear seat. This is great. I mean, given that this car is 102,000 euros, that was a must. That's great. Now, I can only imagine what kind of legs the middle seat passenger will have to have, because you get a massive ridge in the middle. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, if I'm being honest. But otherwise, the headrest is very squidgy. Oh my goodness, it's almost like that of a Maybach. This is great. Or in the case of the Volkswagen Group, it can be comparable to a Bentley. Over to the boot space of this Audi A6 Avant. I was about to call it an E-Tron. Because this is an Audi A6 Avant, the volume in the boot space is great, but it isn't exactly all that spacious because of the diagonal design over here. But all I can say is that it is very smart. So you get a knob over there for the tow hook, you get a 12-volt socket, and you also get latches onto the side to fold down the middle row seat, and they fold on very quickly. This is great. Now over here, I see a little bit of a problem. The good part is that you get this nice metal plating, which looks good. But in long terms, be careful because the body paint sticks out very proudly. You do not want to be sliding luggages in and out, touching this body paint. It will leave a scratch in long terms. But otherwise, over here, you get additional storage space. These are all actually tether points for you to attach to the railings over there, if I'm not mistaken. Buttons on the side, you have to push them. Okay, and then only you can put them in the railings, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So here's my conclusion of the 2025 Audi A6 Avant. To answer the big question, does it have what it takes to give nightmares to the BMW 5 Series and the Mercedes E-Class? The answer, I have to say, is that it entirely depends on your needs. It entirely depends on on your perception, everyone. Because me personally, if you want my personal opinion, okay, what I'm about to tell you will be my personal opinion. I have to say the answer to this question is no. Because there's something about the BMW 5 Series where at first glance I actually had complaints about it. I actually thought, wow, it looks very humble. It doesn't look like the real BMW of before. But then as I started seeing more of them on the road, I actually got used to them. I think they got better, actually. They look better. They look aggressive. They have the BMW charm. They just evolved it a lot, which is great. Mercedes, on the other hand, they really improved the E-Class. It does look bold. It does look serious. It does command some respect when driven down the road, but it entirely depends on the paintwork you choose. When it comes to the Volkswagen Group, and especially the Audi brand, it feels as though they've done a lot of revolutions lately, and that's thanks to their initiatives for electric cars. Now, when it comes to electric cars, they have done some great electric cars, like the Porsche Taycan is my favorite, or the Audi E-Tron GT RS. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, because they've also prolonged their names. That's also one of the best electric cars I've ever seen, guys. But then when it comes to their estate wagons or their new models, which are thermic or electric, that's where there's a bit of a problem, in my opinion, especially in terms of identity. There's a bit of an identity crisis, I sense. But I have one good news to tell you all. You can make your Audi A6 Avant look amazing depending on the configuration. Me personally, I'd highly recommend you try sticking to 5-spoke alloys and try sticking to red paintwork or something bright to make it look more interesting. That would be the best thing ever. But then again, you have your own taste, you have your own choices. And then also it brings me down to value for money. For a price of 102,000 euros, I was very alarmed by certain things, because Mercedes would definitely reward you with some chrome or with some more interesting material. And so would BMW, actually. I had the pleasure of checking out the configurations available for BMW 5 Series models, whether electric or thermic, and they are very flexible and they still look stylish without any compromise. That was something I failed to notice about this Audi A6 Avant. But then on the positive side, this is a new chapter for the Audi brand and the Audi A6 model. I know very well that irrespective of what I think, it's going to sell like hotcakes, because this is going to be a very popular company vehicle, and this is also going to make me wonder what the RS6 is going to look like. That's right, everyone. We have to check out for the Audi RS6, the new one. I'm very curious to know what it's going to look like after seeing this beast, because I think that is where the magic lies. And as soon as it comes out, stay tuned on my YouTube channel because I will get down to reviewing it as soon as it's released. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section below sharing me your thoughts of this 2025 Audi A6 Avant and what are your thoughts of it compared to the BMW 5 Series and the Mercedes E-Class, whether they're sedans or estate versions. In fact, speaking of sedans, as soon as the sedan version is released, stay tuned on my YouTube channel. I will review it and I will release the video on my YouTube channel. So be sure to stay tuned for more videos that are on the run. Now, I don't know about the sedan version. When is it going to be released? Check the link in the description for more of my car reviews on YouTube, whether they are competitors of this gorgeous looking Audi A6 Avant or whether they are other Audi models. All right, I will see you all next time.